it says you saw in the 49ers game how good the Colts A team is, and Curtis Painter sucks. Yeah, Curtis Painter's not good. You know what, Elwood, I didn't really get to see much of that game. I turned it on in the fourth quarter, and the Niners were just demolishing the Colts. And obviously it doesn't mean anything. And it was the B team out there. But that Niners B team is better than the Colts B team, so. It says there's a grassroots movement here to get rid of him. What? For who? For what? I mean, you got Peyton Manning. You don't need anyone else. Peyton's not going anywhere. I know he's bad. It's the Colts, but you're not. Here's the thing: you're not going to get a really quality backup to come play behind a guy like Peyton Manning. You're just not, because that guy knows he's going to see no time on the field, like Jim Sorgi. Not that Sorgi was a quality backup, but I'm just saying, how often did you see Sorgi on the field while he was a Colt? Never, and especially when it mattered. And so you're not going to get a guy who's actually decent, who can play football, to come back up Peyton Manning. You just don't have that. So Curtis Painter it is, And what do you do? At least you have Peyton Manning. And it'll be a couple of years, It's always, it comes at, like the last couple of seasons before a guy's kind of pushed out the door, because it happens in every team. Every team, when a quarterback gets old enough, when he starts slipping a little bit in his production, they start grooming his backup. I mean, that's what happens. That's kind of the trend in today's NFL. You start grooming the backup a couple of seasons before you think you're going to push the first guy out the door. And then if he hangs around too long, if he doesn't retire like you expect him to, then you kind of got to flip it on him and make him look like the bad guy and still let him go somehow. I mean, kind of like the Brett Favre Green Bay situation. Listen, Green Bay had Aaron Rodgers. Just waiting in the wings. They thought Favre was going to retire, and there it was, like 3 years later, still have Brett Favre. So finally they were like, Brett, you got to go, dude. We got Aaron Rodgers. And that'll happen eventually to Peyton Manning. I know it seems improbable, but I think the same thing will happen. But it's still years away. Peyton still has years of being a top-level quarterback in the NFL. Years. I know he's not like a young dude anymore, but, Peyton, the guy's so smart. His arm doesn't look like it's lost any of its zip whatsoever. He's just as fast as he's always been, which is not, but still, he's just that fast still. Still can't run still, but I wouldn't want anybody else under center Peyton Manning. That's throughout eternity. I mean, no joke. And Elwood, I'm not just trying to make you happy. I've said this before. I think Peyton Manning's the best quarterback I've ever seen. Simple. But Brett Favre is indeed back. Finally, we can move